Needs a first serve, that's for sure. Can she find him?
So I'm really happy with how I performed. Yeah, and I'm really happy to be able to share it with all of you. Thank you.
Alex, yung bata!
Sensational EALA stuns Paolini. The 20-year-old Phenom who just shook the tennis world to its core in Dubai, and the WTA will never be the same again. Welcome back, tennis fanatics, to Champions Tennisidics, your absolute #1 destination for the wildest, most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping drama unfolding across the WTA Tour right now. If you are not already subscribed, then I need you to stop whatever you are doing, pause this video if you have to, and hit that subscribe button, because the 2026 season has barely gotten started, and it is already delivering the kind of storylines that Hollywood screenwriters could only dream of putting on paper. We have upsets, we have tears, we have underdog triumphs, and we have the emergence of a bona fide superstar who is serving the tennis world notice. Loudly, clearly, and with a forehand that sounds like a thunderclap. Today, we are diving deep into the sensational, seismic, utterly unforgettable events that unfolded at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, where 20-year-old Filipino powerhouse Alexandra EALA didn't just beat the world #8 Jasmine Paolini. She schooled her, she humbled her, and she announced to the entire planet that there is a brand new queen rising to claim her throne. So grab your popcorn, pour yourself a cold drink, sit back, and let us take you through every breathtaking, nail-biting, crowd-roaring second of this incredible story, because trust me, you absolutely do not want to miss a single word of this. Let us start by painting the full picture, because context is everything and this story deserves its full dramatic backdrop. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships is not your average weekly tournament. This is a WTA 1000 event, which means it sits just below the Grand Slams in terms of prestige, points, and pressure. The draws are stacked, the prize money is enormous, and only the very best players on the planet compete here. Dubai has a magical, almost mythical quality about it. The gleaming skyline, the perfect weather, the electricity of the crowd inside the Aviation Club, and the history of stunning moments that have played out on that center court over the years. Champions are made here, legacies are cemented here, and careers can be launched here with a single unforgettable week. On one side of the net, you had Jasmine Paolini. Now, let's give this woman the full respect she absolutely deserves, because dismissing what she has achieved would be a disservice to tennis itself. The 30-year-old Italian is not just a top 10 player. She is an Olympic gold medalist, a two-time Grand Slam finalist, having reached the finals of both Roland Garros and Wimbledon in 2024, and she was the defending champion in Dubai, having won the title at this very tournament just a year prior. Paolini is the embodiment of Italian grit, relentless baseline resilience, and a competitive spirit that refuses to be extinguished. She has been there, done that, and worn the championship t-shirt. She was the heavy favorite walking onto that court, and virtually no one in the tennis media gave her opponent a realistic shot at pulling off the upset. And then there was Alexandra EALA, 20 years old, ranked 47th in the world, Filipino, fearless, and carrying the dreams of an entire nation on her 20-year-old shoulders with the grace and composure of someone who has been doing this for a lifetime. EALA is not an unknown quantity to those who have been paying close attention. She set the tennis world ablaze during her stunning run at the 2025 Miami Open, where she became the first Filipino player in history to reach a WTA 1000 quarterfinal, turning heads and making jaws drop with every passing round. But that was then. This was now. And what was about to unfold in Dubai would make even that historic Miami run look like a warm-up act. From the very first point of that first set, something felt different. There was an energy radiating off EALA that was almost impossible to describe. A kind of locked-in, laser-focused intensity that the very best players carry when they truly know deep in their bones, that this is going to be their night. She was hitting the ball with a ferocity that sent shockwaves through the stadium. Every single shot was struck with the violent precision of a seasoned champion. Every decision was made with the clarity of a player operating completely in the zone. The numbers tell part of the story. She landed a staggering 67% of her first serves, and won an astonishing 86% of those points. But the numbers cannot fully capture the visual spectacle of watching a 20-year-old systematically dismantle a top 10 player in real time. EALA broke Paolini's serve early and never looked back. She fired winners from all corners of the court, cross-court forehands that screamed past the Italian before she could even begin to move, backhand down the lines that kissed the chalk and left Paolini shaking her head in disbelief, and volleys that seemed to appear out of nowhere to finish the point in emphatic fashion. She served an ace to go up 5-1, and the massive contingent of Filipino fans packed into the Dubai Aviation Club erupted into a deafening wall of noise. Flags were waving, chants were rising, and in the stands, there were people wiping tears from their eyes before the first set had even concluded. Paolini won just one game in the entire first set, and EALA wrapped it up in a breathtaking 25 minutes, 6-1. The world number 8 walked to her chair with the expression of someone who had just been told the laws of physics no longer applied. She looked up at her coaching box with wide eyes, searching for answers that nobody could provide, because the truth was brutally simple. She had been outplayed in every single dimension of the game. But here is where the story gets even more compelling, and where the true character of both players was put on full display. Because Jasmine Paolini did not become the world number 8 by rolling over and dying after one bad set. The Italian veteran is made of something sterner than that, and she came out for the second set with an expression carved from pure, uncut determination. Her serves clicked up to over 150 kilometers per hour. Her ground strokes became heavier, more penetrating, more dangerous. She took the opening game of the second set with authority, and suddenly the narrative shifted. The comeback was on. The veteran was rallying. The crowd sensed it. The commentators sensed it. Even those of us watching from home felt that peculiar mix of excitement and dread that only tennis can produce. But EALA answered. She always answered. She delivered 2 spectacular passing shots that painted the lines so precisely they looked like they had been computer-generated, broke Paolini's serve again, and let out a massive, primal vamos that echoed off the walls of the stadium and sent her supporters into absolute delirium. She surged to a 4-3 lead, and the chants from the Filipino contingent grew louder and more fervent. Laban Alex, which translates roughly to fight, Alex, in Filipino, and let's go Alex, thundering through the night air. You have to appreciate the full magnitude of what this crowd meant to EALA. Playing in Dubai for a Filipino athlete is almost like playing a home match in Manila. The Filipino diaspora in the UAE is enormous, passionate, and deeply proud. Then the match took yet another extraordinary twist, because this story refuses to be straightforward or simple. Paolini, down a break and facing the prospect of a shocking straight sets defeat, reached deep into the very bottom of her competitive reserves and produced something remarkable. She saved not 1, not 2, but 3 match points when EALA was serving at 4-3 and had the finish line in sight. She broke back. She leveled at 5-all. She even took a 6-5 lead, her first lead of the entire match, and suddenly the stadium fell into a hushed, anxious tension. The momentum had swung. The veteran's experience was telling. The weight of the occasion was perhaps, just perhaps, beginning to press down on the young Filipina's shoulders. In the stands, the Filipino fans held their breath. On social media, which was following every point obsessively, the panic was palpable. Was this going to be the moment the dream unraveled? Was this going to be one of those gut-wrenching near misses that haunt young players for years? The answer, delivered with emphatic clarity, was absolutely not. Serving to stay in the second set, EALA summoned everything she had, every ounce of the mental fortitude she has been building since she first picked up a racket as a child. Every lesson learned from the coaching staff at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where she honed her game, every moment of pressure she had ever faced on a tennis court, and she fought back to force a tiebreak. The crowd exploded. The tension in the stadium was so thick you could feel it pressing against your chest. This was going to be decided in a winner-take-all tiebreak, and every single person inside the Aviation Club knew they were about to witness something unforgettable. The tiebreak was a breathtaking, gladiatorial exchange of power, precision, and nerve. EALA opened the proceedings with a stunning backhand down-the-line winner that paralyzed Paolini completely, a shot of such audacious quality that it drew an audible gasp from the crowd. The mini breaks went back and forth, Paolini's experience and fighting qualities evident with every swing, EALA's raw talent and fearless ball striking matching her every step of the way. The score deadlocked at 4-all. Both players were on the absolute edge, one mistake away from disaster, one winner away from glory. And then, in the blink of an eye, a slight hesitation from the Italian opened the door just a crack. EALA saw it. She stepped in. She wound up. And she unleashed a monstrous forehand winner that crashed into the corner with such velocity and accuracy that Paolini was rooted to the spot. 6-5. Match point. EALA's 5th match point of the night. And this time, there would be no reprieve. The roar that went up from the Filipino supporters when that final point was won is the kind of noise that gives you goosebumps even reading about it, even if you were not there in person to experience it. EALA threw her head back, screamed to the heavens, and allowed herself one perfect, pure moment of release, joy, relief, pride, and the validation of every single hour of hard work she had ever poured into this sport. 6-1, 7-6. Done. In 1 hour and 40 minutes. The 20-year-old had completed one of the most stunning upsets the WTA Tour has produced in years. And as both players approached the net for the customary handshake, EALA did something that revealed the full depth of her character. She looked at Paolini with genuine warmth and said, simply and sincerely, "Thank you, Jasmine." Not gloating, not showboating, just grace, just class, just the quiet acknowledgement of one competitor to another in the universal language of sport. In her post-match interview, conducted while the Filipino crowd continued to celebrate around her as if the entire stadium had been transported to Manila for the evening, EALA was candid and deeply moving. She spoke about looking up into the stands during the changeovers and seeing the sea of Filipino flags, the faces of people who had traveled from across the UAE and beyond just to watch her play, and feeling the weight and the privilege of that moment. She said she realized she had to leave every single ounce of her soul on that court, not just for herself, not just for the result, but for every single person in those stands who saw themselves reflected in her journey.
Making history for Philippines tennis, are you aware of what that means back home?
Somewhat. I'm aware of what happens over here. It's basically the same thing I want to imagine, but...
She talked about the honor of carrying a nation's hopes, and how rather than feeling burdened by it, she chose to be empowered by it. It was a remarkable insight into the mindset of a young champion in the making, someone who has already learned one of the most important lessons in elite sport. Use the crowd, use the pressure, use the love of the people, and let it lift you rather than weigh you down. But the fairy tale did not stop there, because this Dubai adventure was far from over for EALA. Riding the absolute intoxicating high of that monumental upset over Paolini, she marched straight into the round of 16 and came face-to-face with Romanian veteran Sorana Cîrstea, ranked 32nd in the world and a player with years of experience navigating high-pressure WTA 1000 encounters. And guess what? EALA sent her packing too. In a gritty, scrappy, draining 2-set battle that looked nothing like the imperious display she had put on against Paolini, EALA dug deep and outlasted Cîrstea 7-5, 6-4. She was refreshingly honest afterward, freely admitting she felt she played what she called ugly tennis at various points throughout the match. But here is the thing, that honesty, that self-awareness, is itself a hallmark of champions. She won ugly, and she owned it, and she moved on, because that is what great players do. That gutsy victory over Cîrstea propelled EALA into only her second ever WTA 1000 quarterfinal, and set up what the entire tennis world immediately recognized as a blockbuster collision course with Coco Gauff, the American superstar, the world number 4, a 2-time Grand Slam champion, the most talked about young player in women's tennis over the last several years. When the draw confirmed it, social media absolutely detonated. The matchup had everything. Youth against youth, power against power, a rising star against an established one, and the added emotional dimension of those thousands of Filipino fans who had packed the Aviation Club all week long, willing their hero deeper and deeper into the tournament. The quarterfinal against Gauff was, in the bluntest possible terms, a reality check. And there is absolutely no shame in that. Gauff came out with the ruthless, suffocating efficiency of a player who is absolutely at the peak of her powers, and she delivered a comprehensive 6-0, 6-2 victory over EALA that made the scoreline look deceptively straightforward. EALA lost the first 10 games of the match before finally getting her name on the board, and for stretches of that encounter, Gauff looked like she was playing a different sport entirely, her movement, shot selection, and mental dominance operating on a level that is simply rarefied air right now. But here is what matters more than the scoreline. EALA did not break. She did not hide. She did not retreat into her shell or let the magnitude of the occasion overwhelm her. She competed. She kept swinging. And when it was over, she faced the press with total candor and total composure. EALA acknowledged the gap openly and honestly, saying that she can see very clearly the distance between where she is right now and where the top 4 players in the world currently operate. But, and this is the crucial part, she said with the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who genuinely believes in what they are capable of, that the gap is not as enormous as people might think, and that she is not so far out of reach from these elite players. That is not delusion talking. That is not false bravado. That is a young champion who has just beaten the world number 8, reached her second WTA 1000 quarterfinal, and understands with crystalline clarity exactly what she needs to do to take the next step. Coco Gauff, for her part, was absolute class throughout. The American took the microphone after the match and personally addressed the massive crowd of EALA supporters, thanking them for the incredible energy they brought to the tournament, apologizing almost playfully for making them wait so long into the tournament before eliminating their hero, and praising the incredible atmosphere they had created all week long. It was a beautiful, generous moment from a champion who understands the power of sport to bring people together. Now let us talk numbers, because the numbers from this Dubai run are staggering. Alex EALA walked away from the desert with $98,500 in prize money from this single tournament alone. Let that sink in for a moment. Nearly $100,000. But perhaps even more significant than the financial reward are the 215 ranking points she banked for her quarterfinal run, because those points are going to propel her to previously uncharted territory in the WTA rankings. Following her stunning Dubai performance, EALA has rocketed to a career high of world number 32 in the live WTA rankings, and she is knocking loudly, persistently, and with tremendous force on the door of the top 30. At 20 years old, world number 32. Let that number sit with you for a second, because that is genuinely extraordinary. For context, consider what this ranking means in the broader landscape of women's professional tennis. It means direct entry into virtually every major tournament on the calendar. It means seedings at WTA 500 and 1000 events. It means the tennis world can no longer treat her as a wild card or a curiosity. She is a genuine, established presence on the tour, and opponents are going to have to prepare specifically for her in a way they simply did not have to before Dubai. The EALA era is not coming. It is not approaching on the horizon. It is here, right now, in the present tense. And the rest of the WTA Tour has officially been put on notice. But every great story has a flip side, and on the other side of this incredible coin sits the tale of Jasmine Paolini's turbulent 2026 season, which has become something of a cautionary tale about how quickly fortunes can shift in the ruthless world of professional tennis. The loss to EALA was not an isolated bad day at the office. It was the third consecutive defeat of Paolini's season, following early exits at the Australian Open at the hands of the precocious Iva Jovic, and a loss in Doha to the ferocious Maria Sakkari. 3 losses, 3 different players, 3 tournaments that should have been prime hunting ground for a player of Paolini's caliber and experience. The former Dubai champion is suddenly, unexpectedly, and uncomfortably searching for answers in a season that was supposed to build on the glittering highs of her sensational 2024 campaign. The news that followed Paolini's Dubai defeat was particularly telling. In a move that speaks volumes about her current state of mind and her desperate need to rediscover some form and confidence, the world number 8 has accepted a last-minute wild card to compete in the WTA 500 event in Mérida, Mexico. Let that sink in too. The world number 8, an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time Grand Slam finalist, flying halfway across the globe to play in a smaller tournament, not because the prize money demands it, not because the ranking points require it, but because she needs wins. She needs to feel the ball going in the right places. She needs to hear the sounds of success again before the grueling, unforgiving Sunshine Double in Indian Wells and Miami arrives. It is a remarkably human decision, stripped of all the glamour and mystique of being a top 10 player. And it is a reminder that even the very best players in the world are vulnerable, fallible, and susceptible to the kind of confidence crisis that a loss to a 20-year-old Phenom can trigger. And speaking of the road ahead, what does the rest of 2026 hold for Alex EALA? The answer, based on everything we have witnessed in Dubai, is absolutely everything. The Sunshine Double in Indian Wells and Miami represents the next enormous challenge on the calendar. Two back-to-back WTA 1000 events that attract the full complement of the world's best players and where titles carry enormous prestige and ranking point rewards. EALA has already shown at Miami in 2025 that she can compete deep into these tournaments. And with the additional confidence and experience that Dubai has deposited into her bank account, there is every reason to believe she will arrive at the Sunshine Double as one of the most dangerous floaters in the draw. She is not seated high enough to be protected from the very top players in the early rounds, which means potential fireworks from the very start. Beyond the immediate future, the larger question that the tennis world is now asking with genuine urgency is this: how high can Alex EALA go? The honest answer is that nobody knows, and that is precisely what makes her story so utterly intoxicating. The ceiling for players of her age, physicality, and mentality is often determined by factors that are impossible to predict: injury, development curves, the evolution of her game, the mental demands of sustained excellence at the highest level. But what we do know, based on the empirical evidence of what she has produced on the court in Dubai and in the months leading up to it, is that the raw ingredients are all there in abundance. The power is there. The serve is there. The mental resilience is there, demonstrated most vividly in that second set against Paolini when she fought back from the brink of losing a match she had looked certain to win. The work ethic is there. And perhaps most importantly of all, the hunger is there, burning as bright and as hot as the Dubai sun. There is also the broader, beautiful narrative of what EALA represents for Philippine sports and for Filipino tennis specifically. The Philippines is a nation of passionate, deeply knowledgeable sports fans who have celebrated heroes in boxing, basketball, and beyond. But tennis has always felt like a sport that was played somewhere else, by someone else, under different flags. Alex EALA is changing that story in real time, and the impact of her success on participation levels, on the dreams of young Filipino tennis players, on the cultural conversation around what is possible for athletes from that part of the world, cannot be overstated. When those fans packed into the Dubai Aviation Club waved their flags and chanted her name, they were not just cheering for a tennis player. They were cheering for a version of themselves. For the idea that with enough talent, enough dedication, enough courage, and enough willingness to embrace the moment rather than be crushed by it, anything is possible. That is a story worth telling. That is a story worth celebrating with every ounce of enthusiasm we can muster. And while we are on the subject of the bigger picture, let us zoom out for just a moment and consider what this result means for the wider WTA landscape in 2026. The tour is in the midst of a genuinely fascinating transition, with an extraordinary generation of young players. EALA, Mira Andreeva, Iga Swiatek's continued dominance, Coco Gauff's rise to the very top, Linda Noskova's explosive potential, competing for supremacy against the established veterans who are still very much forces to be reckoned with. The 2026 season has already delivered drama, upsets, and narratives that stretch from the courts of Melbourne to the dunes of Dubai, and we are only weeks into the calendar year. If the Dubai Desert Classic is any indication of what the rest of the season has in store, then we are all buckled in for an absolutely wild ride. And Champions Tennisitics is going to be right here, bringing you every single moment of the madness. So what is the ultimate, distilled, take-home message from this extraordinary week in the desert? It is this: do not sleep on Alex EALA. Do not make the mistake of assuming that because she is 20 years old, because she is ranked 47th in the world, because she hails from a country that has not traditionally produced WTA superstars, that she is going to be a polite visitor to the upper echelons of women's professional tennis. She is not here to visit. She is here to stay. She is here to compete. She is here to win. She proved it by demolishing a top 10 opponent in straight sets with a performance of such controlled ferocity that the entire tennis world stopped what it was doing and paid attention. She proved it by fighting back from the brink to win a tiebreak that would have broken lesser players. She proved it by winning ugly when the occasion demanded it, and by fronting up honestly to the press when she lost to a player who is currently operating above her current level. Alex EALA doesn't just knock on the door of the elite. She kicks it clean off its hinges. And the rest of the WTA Tour better be very, very ready for what is coming. That is a wrap on today's incredible, in-depth look at the most talked about story in women's tennis right now. And what a story it is. From the sensational upset of Paolini to the gutsy win over Sursti, from the invaluable lesson of the Gauff defeat to the historic career-high ranking, this Dubai Desert Classic has been Alex EALA's coming out party on the grandest possible stage, and the RSVP for the rest of the WTA Tour is very much overdue. The EALA era is officially open for business, and Champions Tennisitics is going to be your front row seat for every single chapter of this extraordinary journey as it unfolds. Now we want to hear from you. What did you think of Alex EALA's absolutely sensational performance against Jasmine Paolini? Do you believe she has what it takes to crack the top 20 by the end of 2026? And can the great Jasmine Paolini rediscover her mojo in Merida and come back firing in time for Indian Wells and Miami? Drop your hottest, spiciest, most passionate takes in the comments section below. We read every single one, and we love hearing from you, the most knowledgeable and passionate tennis community on YouTube. If this deep dive into the Dubai Desert Classic fired you up and gave you chills, then do us a favor. Smash that like button until your thumb is sore. Share this video with every tennis fan you know. And make absolutely sure you are subscribed to Champions Tennisitics so you never, ever miss the latest, greatest, most dramatic and electrifying news from the world of professional tennis. We will be right back here for the next update, covering every serve, every break, every tear, and every triumph. Until then, keep swinging, stay passionate, and we will see you in the next one.